Dylan Gross is a secret agent who accepts the most challenging jobs and aims to solve the mysteries of each situation. He won't make it without your help. The first mission is to retrieve a secret package hidden inside one of the suitcases at the train station. There are 3 suspicious suitcases at the scene. Which of them is the right one? The red suitcase probably belongs to a real traveler. The black backpack has dust marks and it looks fragile. See? It must have been damaged by contact with the ground. The gray suitcase has fresh dirt on it. It's a sign that someone dug it out recently. The secret package must be in there. Dylan is at a fancy gala, but not to have fun. A spy is undercover. Dylan looks around for anyone who looks suspicious. He sees some nervous people around him. A young waiter, a musician, and an elegant guest. Which of them is a spy? The musician has no sheet music and is just pretending to play. His movements don't even match the background music. He's the spy in disguise. Dylan's new mission is to enter a secret lab for one purpose: to save confidential documents that were stolen. In the center of the room, he notices a safe with a voice sensor. A note next to it reads, "It can only be opened by someone who knows the truth about the owner of the lab." What should Dylan say to open the safe? He just needs to say, "Jeremy," to open the safe. The owner who created everything undercover didn't imagine that someone would say his real name. Dylan receives a photo of a suspect at a crowded festival. He instantly notices something is wrong here. Everyone at the festival grounds casts shadows at the same angle, except for one person. Someone probably inserted this imposter digitally. Dylan cross-references the image with the position of the sun and discovers the forgery. Agent Gross arrives at a luxury nursing home. They suspect that an international spy has infiltrated the facility, disguised as an elderly person to escape the police. In the garden, 3 residents are sitting playing cards in the sun. One of them is not really elderly. Who is in disguise? Dylan notices that the man telling the stories has firm, muscular hands with prominent veins and no age spots. He is the undercover spy using makeup, a wig, and his acting skills to appear elderly. Selena, Dylan's neighbor, calls him early in the morning and tells him that while she was away walking her dog, someone had gotten into her house and stolen her jewelry and paintings. She was sure it was her neighbor. When the neighbor got home a couple of hours later, he told Dylan he had been running in the forest the entire morning. But Dylan knew he was lying. Why? The neighbor is wearing pristine white sneakers, but it's been raining since early morning. If he was running through the woods, how can his shoes look so clean? A construction company is showing its new innovative office building to business owners who are considering buying spaces there. They ask them not to take any photos to make sure competitors don't steal their ideas. When the group is leaving, Agent Dylan, who is also there, asks one girl to delete the footage she created. How did he know she was secretly taking photos? It's a gray day and she's wearing sunglasses. If you look closely, you can see a tiny light. Her glasses must be the ones that can take photos and videos. An actress who used to be popular many years ago was robbed. When Agent Gross arrived, he found her tied up on the bedroom floor. She told him she was sleeping when someone broke in and took all of her money from the safe. But Dylan instantly saw that she is lying and probably wants insurance compensation. Why? There isn't even a wrinkle on the cover of her bed. So unless the burglars made it so nicely, the actress must be lying. Agent Gross is going on vacation, finally! Mr. White and his new wife are on the same cruise ship. Sadly, he slips and hits his head so hard he can't remember anything. 3 women immediately come up to him and claim to be his wife. Which of them is not lying? They all look like they could be his wife, so the only way to tell is to pay attention to the details. Mr. White and this girl are wearing matching wedding bands with a rare design. Someone stole a set of costly monogrammed bed linen from a luxurious resort where Dylan is staying. 3 guests left the hotel that morning: Mr. John Green, Mrs. Leslie Posh, and Mr. Peter Salmon. Agent Dylan detained one of the guests and found what was stolen in their suitcase. How did he guess who stole the linen? The hotel's name is Purple Sunrise. The only person whose initials match this monogram and so he could use the linen is Mr. Peter Salmon. Another guest at the same resort arrived with 3 suitcases of different sizes. He went upstairs and came back 10 minutes later, but only with the largest suitcase. When he returned to his room, he called the reception and told them someone had stolen his luggage with expensive clothes and watches inside. He said he'd start a huge scandal online unless they pay him compensation. But Dylan told them not to do it. Why? He figured out he packed all of his suitcases in the large one and just took them away from the resort. And then he pretended someone had stolen his things. Agent Dylan is looking for an assistant. The final round of interviews is just one task. He pours some water into a glass and asks the candidates to get him some apple juice. There are 2 conditions. He wants the water in the glass but doesn't want it to mix with the juice. Can you figure out how to do it to get the job? You just need to put the glass in the freezer and wait till all the water gets frozen. Then pour the juice on top of it. Kate is working as a maid at a rich woman's house. One day, the woman reported that someone had stolen her exclusive watch, decorated with diamonds and one huge emerald. She told Agent Gross that Katie most definitely stole it because that day, no one else was in the house. Katie denies everything. Is she lying? Katie isn't lying, but her boss is. She's hiding the watch under her long sleeves, but when she moves her hand, you can see it. A young girl was nearly poisoned in her own apartment, but she survived. Agent Gross notices a glass of liquid on her desk. There's also a farewell note. Dylan realizes it was all staged and she didn't try to take her own life. How did he guess? The mouse is on the left side, which means she's a lefty. But the glass and a note with a pen are on the right side of the laptop. Someone just put it there to make it look like she did. A famous writer is missing, and so is the manuscript of a new book she has just finished. Agent Gross thinks another writer who works in the same genre could be behind this. The writer denies everything and says she's been working on her own book for weeks and hadn't left her house. She has a press conference the following day to read the first chapter of her new book. Dylan knows she's lying. Why? You can see only the name of the new book on her laptop screen. And there's the manuscript of the missing writer hidden in her desk organizer. Dylan decided to go shopping to take a break from all the hard work, but even there, he found a new mission. The sales assistant yelled, "Stop that man! He stole the gloves for $2,000 The man insisted, "I've had them for years." How did the agent know the man was lying? Both gloves are for the same hand. He must have grabbed them by mistake in a rush. Did you manage to solve all the riddles? Well, congrats! You can not only be a secret agent helper, but work as one yourself.
Well, Melanie came to her best friend's birthday party. She was having the time of her life when she noticed something creepy. One of the guests wasn't human. Have you spotted this weird creature too? It's that guy hanging upside down with his head on the shelf. Yep, him. Eerie. To relieve stress, Melanie decided to go to a club, but it seemed like the universe was conspiring against her. Melanie saw another non-human being. Look at the image attentively and try to figure out who is not human. It's the DJ. He's levitating. Run, Melanie, run! The girl decided that a public park in the center of the city must be a safe place. So she sat down on a bench and got ready to enjoy the sun. And guess what? She spotted someone else who wasn't human. Who is it? It's that lady on the bench. She doesn't cast a shadow. By the time Melanie's boyfriend, Marcus, invited her to have dinner with his friends, the girl had already resigned herself to her fate. So when she realized that one of the attendants was a vampire, she wasn't all that surprised. Do you see who doesn't belong to the world of the living? It's the guy wearing a blue pullover. He's holding a pack with some red liquid inside. It's something vampires really like. Yeah, you get what I mean, right? Having escaped the party, Melanie went to drink some coffee at a nearby cafe. There were two baristas there, and Melanie immediately understood that one of them was a robot. Duh, what are the odds? Anyway, which barista isn't human? It's the one on the left. There's a faint light above her ear, see? I don't think humans can shine. A man walked into a store and stole a $100 bill from the register. After that, he bought $70 worth of goods using the money he had taken. The unsuspecting owner of the store gave him $30 in change. How much money did the owner lose altogether? Your first instinct might be to say $130, but in fact, the owner lost $100. It was $70 worth of goods and those $30 of change. Uh-oh, the best man better hurry and find those wedding rings. Do you think you could help him? That's where they are. Now look at this picture. By moving just 2 matchsticks, you gotta make the biggest possible number. What number is it? It's 51,181. Move the matchsticks from the top and bottom of the digit 0 to the center and use these to make the digit 1 after the digit 8. You see that? Now, you need to pick 3 balls to get 30. Which balls will you take? All the given balls are odd-numbered, and we know that adding 3 odd numbers can never result in an even number. But you can get 30 by using balls number 11, 13, and 9. You just need to rotate 9 so that it reads 6. Now, you probably know that ants move in groups. In one of such groups, there are 2 ants in front of 2 ants, 2 ants behind 2 ants, and 2 ants next to 2 ants. How many ants were there in the group? Even though it may seem there were a lot of ants in the group, in reality, there were just 4. They simply stood in a square formation. Nick and Sam live in different parts of the city, but they go to the same college. Today, Sam left home 15 minutes earlier than Nick did. They met in the park. Who was closer to the college when they met? The guys met in the same place, so this means they are equally close to the college. There are 5 apples. They are green and red. Of any 2 apples, at least 1 is red. How many green apples are there? There is only 1 green apple. As you can see, in any pair of apples, 1 or both fruits are red. It means there can be no pair where both apples are green, which, in turn, means there can't be more than 1 green apple. Otherwise, they would make a pair. You see that? You've got a lock with a special code consisting of 3 digits. Each digit can be any number from 1 to 9. To open the lock, you need to figure out the secret code. Let me help you and give you some clues. Before the first number, I say higher. Before the second number, I say lower. And before the last number, I say correct. Can you guess the code? The code is actually the number of letters in the words higher, lower, and correct. 6, 5, and 7, respectively. 3 brothers won 2 scooters that had the same price in a lottery. To divide their winnings equally, the oldest and the middle brother each took a scooter. Then, each of them gave 350 coins to the youngest brother. How many coins is 1 scooter worth? It costs 1,050 coins. You see, the younger brother got this sum of money. This is the third of the cost of the 2 scooters. It means that 2 scooters are worth 2,100 coins. This way, 1 scooter costs 1,050 coins. Kate lives on the 4th floor and Alex lives on the 2nd floor. When she goes up to the 4th floor, Kate climbs 60 stairs. How many stairs does Alex have to climb to get to the 2nd floor? Your first answer might be that Alex needs to climb 30 stairs. It's half as many as Kate has to because she lives on a floor twice as high. But this is not the case. When Kate goes up to the 4th floor, she climbs 6 flights of stairs. So there are 20 stairs between 2 floors. It means that when Alex goes from the 1st floor to the 2nd floor, he climbs 20 stairs. A businessman was about to go through a security check at the airport when he realized someone had taken his luggage. The airport police had 3 suspects. Lisa said she wouldn't take someone's old brown bag when she had her own, bright pink and pretty. Mike explained he was a light traveler and didn't have luggage. He put everything in his backpack. Rob had a broken arm and a sprained ankle. He could hardly carry anything. The police immediately knew who had done it. Can you figure it out? It was Lisa. Nobody told her the luggage was brown. Then how did she figure it out? Mrs. Smith called the school principal to report that someone had taken her students' tests. She added that she had noticed a stranger wearing school clothes, gloves, and a red hat walking the school hallways. This person also had 3-star tattoos on their fingers. The principal didn't believe the teacher. Why? She said the person had been wearing gloves. But then, how did she see those 3-star tattoos on the intruder's fingers? She must have lost the test herself and was trying to find an excuse. Laura had always dreamed of having a dog. As soon as she started living on her own, she got herself an extremely expensive puppy. Once she had to go on a business trip. She asked Sarah, her housekeeper, Annabelle, her cook, and Phoebe, her sister, to look after her pet. But when Laura came back, her dog was gone, and all three women claimed they didn't know what had happened. Look at them attentively. Who is lying? It's the cook. See, the puppy's collar is in her pocket. Lisa followed her mom's instructions and went to bed without objections. But her mom suspected that her daughter hadn't brushed her teeth. If you manage to find a toothbrush in the girl's bedroom, her mother's suspicions are correct. Ah, the toothbrush is hidden on that shelf. Uh-oh, someone is going to be in trouble tomorrow. Uh-oh, Marcus is running late for his plane. At the airport, he rushes to the info screen and gasps. Instead of showing the gate, it just says, Flight to New York, gate 1 plus 8 divided by 4. Which gate should he head to? Start with a division. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Add 1, and the final answer is 3. Hurry up, Marcus! Laura is enjoying a cozy movie afternoon when, crash! A ball smashes through her window. She runs outside and sees 4 neighborhood kids running off. Lily, Riley, Tom, and Mark. No one admits to it. Later, Laura finds a note slipped under her door. There's no confession, just a single symbol. Wait, that's a clue. Can you figure it out? It's a question mark, and hidden inside those words is a name, Mark. Yep, he's the one who threw the ball. John receives 3 mysterious packages. No return address, no names. Who sent me these? But the answer was right in front of him the whole time. Can you guess it? Look at the color of each box, blue, red, and orange. Take the first letter of each color and you get BRO. Oh, those gifts came from his brother. Nice. Isabella walks into a fortune teller's tent. The woman hands her a cup of tea and says, "Drink this. The leaves will point out your fate." Weird, but okay. Isabella sips the tea and hands the cup back. The fortune teller peers into the cup, gasps, and says, "One of these 3 men will change your life forever." So, which man is her soulmate? Remember what the fortune teller said? The leaves will point out your fate? But she didn't mean the tea leaves. She meant the leaf pattern on one guy's shirt. Yep, he's the one. Susan took her dog, Max, for a walk on the beach because he loves jumping into the ocean. As soon as they arrived, Susan went to buy an ice cream. But when she looked back, Max was gone. She started yelling his name and 3 dogs came running over. So, which one is Max? One of the dogs has a collar that says Max, but that's just a coincidence. Her real dog is the 3rd one, the one that's soaking wet. Max loves the ocean, remember? Her pet just went for a swim. Bella was bored during her blind date with Sam. So, to spice things up, she grabs 16 toothpicks from the table and sets up a little challenge. She asks, "Can you remove 5 of these and be left with just 1?" Take a closer look. It's not about numbers, it's about letters. Remove these 5 matchsticks and voila! You're left with the word 1 spelled out. Too bad Sam didn't get it. Stephanie gets home after a long day, and all she wants is that dessert she left in the fridge. But it's gone. She turns to her 3 kids and asks, "Who took my dessert?" Michael answers, "I just got home and haven't eaten anything yet." Nicole goes, "I didn't touch your ice cream." Jenny says, "I went into the kitchen last time at noon." Let's see. Stephanie said dessert and never mentioned ice cream. So how did Nicole know exactly what was missing? That can only mean one thing. She's the sneaky dessert thief. Jack is ready to find someone special, and he's made a list of pros and cons for his future girlfriend. Pros: love animals, redhead. Cons: likes rock music, works in the arts. He opens a dating app and clicks on the first profile. So, is he going to match with her or not? She is a redhead, nice, but she's wearing a Kiss t-shirt, meaning she's into rock. So, it's a big no-no for Jack. Next. A new profile pops up on the screen. Tell me, is she the one? She has a dog, so she must be into animals. Great. But there's paint all over her shirt. Looks like she's a painter, and Jack's not into the arts. Sorry, man, today's just not your day. Paul's grandma is showing him an old photo album from her younger days. And the most exciting part is her trip to Japan. Paul asked, "When did you go?" His grandma smiles and said, "In the fall of 1950. But right away, he realizes that his grandma's memory may have slipped just a little. So, what's wrong? Well, she probably did go in 1950, just not in the fall. Take a look at the photos. They're filled with cherry blossoms, and those only bloom in the spring. Mia wants to paint each fingernail a different color. She finishes her right hand, 5 unique colors. But when she opens her nail polish drawer, that's it. Those 5 bottles are all she has. Still, she's determined to keep her left hand colorful, without repeating any of the original colors. She thinks for a second, and then, eureka! She figures it out. So how does she do it? Simple. She mixes the color she already had. That way, she creates 5 brand new colors, 1 for each nail on her left hand. Oh, problem solved. Jake is in charge of setting up tables for a wedding. Each table can seat 5 guests. He checks the list: 8 people from the bride's family, 6 from the groom's side, and 10 friends they both invited. So, how many tables does Jake need to set up? Add the total number of guests, and we have 24. Each table fits 5 people. That gives us 4 full tables with 4 guests left. So, Jake needs to set up 5 tables in total. 3 customers walk into a fancy city bakery. One came to pick up a cheesecake. Another ordered a ham and cheese sandwich. And the last one's here for a fresh apple pie. Take a good look at them. Can you figure out who's picking up what? This customer is wearing an oven mitt, so he's probably here for the apple pie that just came out of the oven. The second one's got a shirt with a vegetarian symbol, so there's no way he's touching that ham sandwich. That means he must be here for the cheesecake. And the ham and cheese sandwich is for the third customer. A teenage girl buys a new t-shirt with a giant mandala pattern on it. At first glance, it looks amazing, but then she looks a little closer and something's off. The pattern is incomplete in 3 different spots. Can you find them? Yep, there they are. Ha, nice catch. Ben teaches English to a group of international students. One day, he says, "I bet you already know some colors in English." Then he turns to the whiteboard and writes the names of 4 super famous movies, but with a color missing from each title. Here's what they see. All right. Can you guess which colors go in the blanks? Only big movie fans will know the answer. It's pink, orange, green, and blue. At a fancy restaurant, 3 guests claim to be a vegan. The waiter comes over and takes their orders. The school teacher asks for a margarita pizza. The doctor wants a Hawaiian. And the journalist goes for a mushroom pizza. So, who's the fake vegan? Actually, all 3 of them. Those pizzas have cheese on them, and that's not part of a vegan diet. Margot was studying at the library. She took a quick bathroom break and came back to find her wallet missing. The librarian says someone was nearby but couldn't see clearly. Police questioned 3 students. Owen says, "I stayed at my desk the whole time." Finn goes, "I saw her, but I was just browsing books." Lucas says, "I was on the phone call with my friend, didn't see anything." So, who's lying? Wait a second, a phone call? Most libraries don't allow calls. You've got to be really quiet in there. So yeah, Lucas made that up. He stole the wallet.
Hey riddle lovers, ready to take your brain for a marathon? Well then, let's go. 2 friends meet in the street. Ben says he's heading to house number 23. Jeremy says he's going to visit his friend who lives in house number 7. Can you tell which one is Ben and which one is Jeremy? Ben is the one wearing the cap. Look closely at the house number. It's 19. If you walk from the beginning of the street, odd number houses are on the left side. The guy in the cap is walking in the direction of large numbers, so he must be Ben. In the evening, a woman said, "My cat has disappeared." The window was closed, the door was locked. No signs, no sounds. Where did the cat go if the house was completely closed? The cat never really left. It crawled into a slightly open drawer of the dresser and fell asleep there. The woman didn't check it, but no one can trick you. A tiny tip of the cat's tail is sticking out. And while we're on the topic of pets, here's a fashion dilemma. If dogs wore pants, would they wear them like this or like this? The more accurate version would be the one on the right, on the hind legs, just like humans. That's because pants are clothing for the lower part of the body, and in dogs, that means the hind legs. The front legs are more like arms than legs. You're in your cabin. You travel exactly 100 miles south. Then you see a bear. You travel exactly 100 miles east, and the bear runs away. You travel exactly 100 miles north, returning to your cabin. What color is the bear? The bear has to be white. This riddle only makes sense if your cabin is at the North Pole. Going 100 miles south, then 100 miles east, which doesn't change your latitude much at the pole, and then 100 miles north brings you back to the original position. 3 friends are taking part in a high-fashion photo shoot, and each of them has carefully picked her outfit. But one of them is hiding a secret. She's pregnant. Can you figure out who's expecting just by spotting one little detail? Must be the girl in the middle. the one wearing the pink heels with rhinestones. If you look closely, her right shoe is buckled on the last hole as if her foot has slightly swollen. Also, platform shoes offer more stability than stilettos. She must be trying to stay stylish while concealing her pregnancy. John has a small shop that sells socks. One day, he decided to attract more people and launched an advertisement: socks for free. Many people came there, but all the customers had to pay, even though the socks were free. Why? John would only give the left sock to his customers. The socks were good and people wanted to buy the second one. Who needs only one sock after all? Kelly works as a barista. This morning she dropped a cup full of coffee. Luckily, her white shirt wasn't stained, but it took a while to clean up the mess. How come? I never told you the coffee was liquid. There were coffee beans in the cup. They ended up right under the counter. Phil Adams, who didn't really like modern art, rushed into the city gallery and caused millions of dollars worth of damage to several paintings. Yet the manager of the gallery thanked Mr. Adams for what he did to them. How come? Phil was a firefighter. The water from his hose damaged several masterpieces, but he still managed to extinguish the fire and save many more exhibits. Angie put a coin into an empty bottle and plugged it tightly with a cork. Then she told her friend she'd take out the coin without breaking the bottle or taking out the cork. And she did it. Can you guess how? Angie just pushed the cork into the bottle and then shook it to make the coin fall out. Easy peasy. Mike was about to fail his exam, but the kind professor gave him one last chance. The guy had to arrange 4 9s to make them equal 100. He could use any math symbols. How can he do it? Mike activated all of his math skills and some common sense to figure out the answer. Lena and Tina are best friends, but recently they had a huge scandal. Lena is trying everything to make Tina forgive her. She sends her a strange coded message. What did Lena try to say? She wanted to say forgive in this unusual way. Doesn't look convincing enough to me. A dangerous criminal escaped and is headed to the airport to leave the country. The security knows he'll try to use a fake ID, so they check everyone thoroughly and find 3 main suspects. Can you guess which passport is fake out of these 3? Different countries have different rules, but I'm sure no one would let their citizens use a selfie with someone else's hand on their shoulder as a passport photo. So Jin Beam must have just made this fake passport. Mr. Focus often offers other people adventurous bets. This time, he said he could throw a ball and it would come back to him every time. He also said there would be no obstacle or wall that the ball could ricochet from. Other people think it's impossible and lose the bet. So what's the deal here? Mr. Focus throws the ball straight up. It obviously comes back to him every time. Nancy is taking part in a TV quiz where she can win 1 pound of pure gold. At the end of the show, the host brings her 3 large jars. Each of them has 1 pound of pure gold inside, but also some unpleasant surprises. The first jar has venomous spiders inside. The second one is full of acid. and the third one is filled with boiling hot water. Nancy can only use her hands to get the gold out, and she has 30 minutes to finish. Can you help her? She should choose the jar with hot water. It's gonna get almost lukewarm in half an hour. Michael is trapped in a room. It's slowly filling with water that's coming from a tap in the wall. There are no windows in the room and the door is blocked. Michael has a mop and a big bucket. What can he do to survive? Well, the only thing the guy needs to do is to turn off the tap to keep the water from coming. Sally invited all her friends to her favorite restaurant to celebrate her birthday. She got her dream present, a ring with a huge diamond. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness. After several minutes of total confusion, the lights came back on, but Megan's ring was gone. Look at the picture to try to figure out who stole it. It was the waiter. Look at the glass he's holding. He put the ring inside, and now there's much more water in it. A group of students went to visit an art gallery that has paintings from famous artists from different countries. Half an hour into the excursion, an alarm went on as one of the students was trying to damage one of the paintings. Since they all have uniforms, it's impossible to tell who exactly just from the CCTV footage. 3 possible suspects all have their excuses. Ashley said, "I love the painting so much I texted my mom about it. Why would I damage it?" Dawn said, "I didn't stay long in that room as I wanted to see the ancient mammal bones." Steve said, "Professor, I was just following you." One of these students is lying, but who? Dawn is lying, as there can be no mammal bones in an art gallery with paintings. How many of these mind-twisting riddles did you manage to solve? Feel free to share in the comments below.
Doris was having a beach vacation with her friend Teresa. One morning, the young women were sunbathing near the water. Teresa went to a cafe to get some lemonade while Doris went swimming. When Doris came back, she saw that her smartphone, which she had left on her beach towel, was gone. "Have you seen my phone?" she asked the man sunbathing nearby. "Nah, I've been sleeping all this time." At this moment, Teresa came back with the lemonade. She looked around and immediately understood where Doris's phone was. Who took it? It was the man, all right. Before the incident, the spade was lying on his left. Now it's on the right. There's also a suspicious pile of sand near the spade now. The man must have hidden the phone in the sand, hoping to dig it out later. Terry invited his friend Alice, who was studying to become a police officer, to a party. It was organized by his friend Sean. Terry was worried there could be a thief at this party. Throughout the event, Alice was watching the guests attentively. At the end of the party, she told Terry who the thief was. Have you figured it out? It's the host, Sean. At the beginning of the party, one of the guests had a watch on his wrist, and this woman had a beautiful necklace. But at the end of the party, the watch is already on Sean's wrist, and the necklace is in the flower pot. Detective Carlson was walking along the street when he heard the sound of glass shattering. He looked around and saw a large crowd gathering near the broken window of a jewelry store. The shocked owner was inside. The detective ran up to him. "Has anything been stolen?" The man said he hadn't understood yet, but then Carlson exclaimed, "Sorry, I've got a thief to catch," and rushed away. What did he see? The store window was broken to distract everyone. People were looking away and didn't see this guy stealing a wallet from the man in a suit. At first, the wallet was in the man's pocket. Now the thief is rushing away, the wallet in his hand. The police had long suspected that Mr. Hall was a smuggler, transporting forbidden things on his yacht. That day, they knew for sure the cargo they were looking for was on his vessel. Several police officers came with a search warrant to the marina where Mr. Hall's yacht was parked. They examined every nook and cranny of the yacht, but didn't find what they were looking for. Mr. Hall was sneering while seeing them off. Suddenly, the youngest police officer exclaimed, "I know where the cargo is!" What did he understand? The cargo could only be underwater. Wrapped in a protective cover, it was tied to the anchor. Look at these guys carefully. One of them is not living alone. Who is it? It's the man on the right. He's got 2 toothbrushes. Austin, a rich businessman, brought very important documents to his office. But he had a meeting and needed to leave for several hours. Austin asked his secretary to be on the lookout for anything suspicious. His competitors could try to break into his office to look at the documents. When he came back, his secretary told Austin everything had been quiet. But when the man looked around, he realized someone had been inside his office. The secretary eventually admitted having fallen asleep while Austin was away. How did the businessman understand someone had visited his office? The globe on his desk is now turned in the opposite direction. William, a successful businessman, was having dinner at an expensive restaurant. At one point, he went outside to make an important call. When he returned, his case with money and documents was gone. The thief could only be another customer. When the police arrived, they questioned everyone who was in the restaurant. Karen said she had been writing a new chapter of her book. Paul said he had been waiting in a line to get to the bathroom. Donna had already paid for her coffee and was putting on her coat. And Robert was having a video call with his girlfriend. It didn't take detectives long to figure out who the thief was. Do you know it? The criminal is Paul. Besides him, there were only 4 other visitors at the restaurant, and they were all busy. How could there be any line for the bathroom? The police got informed that one of the most wanted criminals, Carl Walker, was going to arrive in the country. According to this information, the man was going to come by plane. Unfortunately, the police knew very little about him. He was short, wearing glasses, and traveling under a false name. Detective Adams went to the airport. He detained 4 people who fit the description. They were Mr. Lewis, Mr. Relkaw, Mr. Taylor, and Mr. Wilson. Look at these men carefully and try to figure out who the criminal is. It's Mr. Relkaw. His last name is actually the criminal's last name, Walker, but with its letters reversed. A detective is looking for an important witness. Without them, she won't be able to solve a complicated case. The only thing she knows is that the witness is left-handed. Look at these people and help the detective choose the person she needs. It's the waitress. She's holding the tray with her right hand and serving people with her left dominant hand. Look at these princesses and try to figure out which of them is the fake one. It's the princess on the right. The tiaras of the princess on the left and the one in the middle have a reflective shine to them. You can see they are made of precious metals. But the ice princess's tiara doesn't shine. It's made of plastic. A businessman arrived at his office after a long trip. He discovered that some important documents had disappeared from his desk. He immediately called the police, and a detective arrived shortly after. After interviewing all the workers, he had a list with 3 suspects on it. They were Emma, the accountant, Sophia, the receptionist, and James, the sales manager. But all of these people claimed they hadn't been inside the businessman's office. It didn't take the detective long to figure out who was lying. Do you have any ideas? The thief is James. Both women wear high heels in the office, but the footprints on the floor are obviously left by a pair of sneakers. An elderly lady called the police. She told them someone had sneaked into her house while she had been asleep. The intruder took away the money she kept hidden in her kitchen cupboard. The woman was sure it was one of her neighbors. The police visited all the neighbors, but each of them claimed they had spent the entire day at home. Look at their houses and try to figure out who the thief is. Rick is lying. He wasn't at home. His car was parked near the house already after the snow had built up on the driveway. Look at these people carefully. Who does this dog belong to? The dog's owner is the guy in the middle. He's the only one who isn't trying to pet the animal. Can you figure out how many watermelons there are in this picture? Five. Gloria failed her math test. Luckily, her professor was an understanding woman. She offered a deal. If the girl cracked 3 riddles, she'd get a good mark. Of course, Gloria agreed. The first task was to figure out the answer to the equation. Can you do the same? The answer is 232. Gloria didn't need much time to solve it and got the next puzzle. The student saw several numbers made up of matches. What should be the last number? The last number should be 1. After every step, the number of joints goes down by 1. And finally, the teacher gave Gloria several pool balls. Use only 3 of them to make this equation true. After a couple of minutes, Gloria figured out the way to do it. Do you know what she did? The girl rotated 9 and got 6. After that, she took the balls with numbers 13, 11, and 6 and got 30. Gloria's quick wit helped her, and she passed the test. You're trapped in a room with no doors or windows. All of a sudden, the room starts filling with water. You check everywhere, but can't find any way to turn it off. You know that help is on the way, but it's still at least 5 minutes until their arrival. You only have 2 minutes. After that, the entire room will be flooded. Obviously, you can't hold your breath for 3 minutes. You've got 3 objects, but only one of them can save your life. What should you choose? A straw, a rope, or an empty bucket? You should opt for the bucket. Put it on your head. This will create an air pocket, and you'll be able to breathe for a couple of minutes until help arrives. You've got lost in a desert. It's already dark, but bright moonlight illuminates the surroundings. At one point, you see a tower, but an evil wizard is looking out of the window. He tells you, "If you want to save your life, solve my riddle. You need to figure out the height of this tower." You look around and see nothing but several fallen tree branches. There's also a watch on your wrist and your own shadow. What can you use to figure out how high the tower is? Your shadow will help you. You can compare its length with the length of the shadow cast by the tower. Then, since you know your height, you can calculate the height of the tower. Oh boy, William got inside a cave during an archaeological expedition. There were 3 ways out, however, only one of them was safe. His map said that behind the first way out there was a pond that swallowed everything in. The second way out led to dangerous dinosaurs that would eat him alive. The third way out led to an erupting volcano. Which way was safe? The second one. Because the dinosaurs went extinct many years ago. You're running away from a pack of zombies and come across 3 doors. Behind the first one, there's raging fire. Behind the second one, there's a lake of water. Behind the third one, there's a venomous snake. Which way would you choose? I'd recommend to choose the second one and swim away. It's just a lake. You can do it. During his vacation in the jungles, Aiden was caught by some tribe. They tied him up and said they'd push him into one of the 3 pits of his choice. The first pit was filled with zombies. The second one, there was raging fire. The third one was filled with huge pitcher plants. Which pit should Aiden pick? He should choose the third one. The pitcher plants only eat insects. They're not dangerous for people. Aston reported that someone had robbed his house. Detective Callum arrived and asked Aston to tell him what happened. He said that he walked into his room and saw someone getting out of his window. They must have heard him walking inside the house. Then he checked his desk and found that his money had been stolen. Detective Callum asked if Aston had touched anything else, and the man said he hadn't. Detective Callum closed the case and refused to proceed. Can you guess why? The robber wouldn't get out of the window without stepping on the bed. However, the bed was perfectly made, and Aston said he hadn't touched it. It means there was no robber. Waverly was an archaeologist looking for a pirate treasure. In one of the caves on a deserted island, she finally found it. There were 3 chests, and one of them was filled with gold and gems. However, if she picked one of the wrong chests, terrible things would happen to her. Luckily, there were statements on each of them, but only one of these statements was true. 1. The treasure is in this chest. 2. The treasure isn't in this chest. 3. The treasure isn't in chest number 1. Which of the chests has the treasure? Let's solve it step by step. If the first statement is true, then the treasure must be in the first chest, and the other statements must be false. In this case, the second statement is also correct, so that was a wrong guess. If the second statement is true, then the treasure isn't in the first chest. The treasure isn't in the second chest either, just like it says. Then it must be in the third one. However, this makes the third statement correct too, although it shouldn't be. If the third statement is true, then from the first statement that is wrong, you can conclude that there's no treasure in the first chest. Since the second one is wrong too, then the treasure must be there. Now there's no contradictions, and the treasure is in the second chest. Whew. Does anybody else have chest pains? Just me? Yeah, okay. Skylar and Amelia are pen pals. Skylar said that her birthday was in winter, and Amelia said that hers is in summer. However, a couple of months later, they both had their birthday on the same day. Still, none of them lied. How is it possible? They live in different hemispheres. When it's wintertime in the US, it's summer in Australia, and vice versa. Mrs. Fitz came back from work and found that her favorite cup was broken. She asked her daughters who had done it. Katie said, "It wasn't me." Serena said, "It wasn't me either." Hannah said, "It was Serena." Mrs. Fitz knew her daughters well, and she could tell what happened. Only one of the girls was telling the truth. Can you guess who broke the cup? If Katie tells the truth, then firstly, it wasn't her who broke the cup. Secondly, the other 2 girls are lying. Serena is lying, so you can conclude it was her. But then Hannah is right, and that's a contradiction. Let's say Hannah is right. Then it was Serena who broke the cup, and Serena is lying. But then Katie is telling the truth too when she says it wasn't her. So Serena is telling the truth. She says it wasn't her, so you can trust her. And Katie and Hannah are lying. Katie says it wasn't her, so it was her. And Hannah says it's Serena, which is a lie. So, Serena is the honest girl and Katie is the guilty one. Hannah is just a liar. Esme was on her casual walk in the forest and she didn't get lost this time. Here it was, her way home. But the other one was a way to the witch's house. After a bit of thinking, Esme decided she had to say hi to her old friends and visit the witch. The witch said she didn't have a riddle for her that day and Esme was free to go. But Esme had one. She said if the witch got it wrong, Esme would take her cat. Dear witch, imagine you're in a dark room. How can you get out? She mustn't imagine that. Spoiler, the witch got it and kept the cat. Next time, Esme. A police officer was walking in a neighborhood and stopped one gentleman. He asked him what the man was doing, and he said that he had just left his house to go to the grocery store. However, the officer didn't believe him and arrested the man. Why? Look, it's snowing, and there are fresh footprints on the snow that lead out of the window. House owners usually use the front door to walk out of the house, so this one must be a burglar. Bryce was a grumpy old gentleman who didn't like some teenagers walking past his house. So once, he decided to report them so they'd never be allowed to get close to him anymore. He called the authorities and told them that he was having tea on his terrace, and those teenagers threw a baseball at him. Luckily, the baseball flew above him. However, the detective didn't believe it had happened at all. Why? Take a look at the terrace. It's all made of glass. Bryce's place is right next to a window. If the baseball had flown right above him, as he said, it would have broken the glass. Thomas was collecting action figures. Some of them he got from his grandfather. They were super rare, and his collection of more than 500 figures was worth about $1 million. One day he came home from vacation and found out that his collection was stolen. Detective Callum was up for the case. There were 3 suspects, all of them were Thomas's neighbors. He said that the collection of action figures had been stolen and asked what they had been doing during the holidays. Sydney said that she was in the neighborhood. She was working but had nothing to do with the figures. Mateo said that his grandma is staying with him, so he's always with her, and he couldn't find any room for 500 action figures at his place. Gideon said that he wasn't even in the neighborhood and had just come back himself. Who stole the collection? Mateo. No one mentioned how many figures there were in the collection, but he knew somehow. Samantha, a rich woman, found out that someone had stolen the money from her wallet. There were 3 people in the house: Malcolm, a cleaning man, Grace, a gardener, and Sebastian, a boy who walks her dog. She reported the case. The police took the fingerprints but only found those of Samantha herself. Still, they had the main suspect. Who was it? The main suspect was the cleaning man Malcolm. He's wearing gloves, and that's why he was able to do it without leaving any fingerprints. Annabelle didn't want to go to school, so in the morning, she went downstairs and told her mom that she wasn't feeling well. She said that she had eaten a bit of apple last night, and it must have been poisoned because she'd been feeling unwell all night. However, Mrs. Collins didn't believe her and sent Annabelle to school. Why? There's just one bite on the apple, and it's a fresh one. If Annabelle had left this bite last night, it'd be brown, but it was still okay, which meant it was fresh. At school, Sophie opened her locker and found an envelope. Inside, there was a calendar and a note asking if she wanted to go to the prom. However, instead of the name, there were just several numbers: 17, 2, 30, 25. Can you guess who asked Sophie to prom? The calendar is the key. You just have to find all the numbers and see what name the first letters of the respective months give you. So 17 is circled in August, so it's A. Number 2 is in December, which gives us D. Number 30 is in April, so A again. And finally, number 25 is May 25, so it's May. Seems like the guy's name is Adam. Too bad there are 13 Adams at her school. Elsie walked into a party store to buy something. She learned that 1 costs $1, 17 costs $2, and 103 costs $3. She needed 22. What do you think she's buying, and how much should she pay? She's probably buying birthday candles for a cake, so each candle costs $1. She needs 22, which is 2 candles, so she'll have to spend $2.
Like every morning, Daphne went to her favorite local cafe to get her coffee and breakfast sandwich. She left the cafe after she'd paid. A few minutes later, she returned, looking anxious, because she had forgotten her wallet. Strangely, it was nowhere to be found. She called the police to report the incident. Nobody had left the store, so the thief was still there when the officer arrived. He started questioning everyone. Jenny, the cashier, said that Daphne was a regular customer and she had known her for a long time. So, she would never steal her wallet, and she didn't see it after Daphne had paid. Andre was a tourist visiting the city for the first time. He said he'd come to the cafe because he'd wanted to try their famous muffins. She claimed he hadn't seen the wallet. He was busy trying to pick what type of muffin he should get at the time. And Harry worked as a store clerk. He said that he'd come there to grab a coffee, and he didn't see the wallet because he was pouring milk into his coffee. So who do you think stole the wallet? It was Harry, the store clerk, or should I say Harold. Do you see his name tag? He lied about his name when he ordered his drink. Also, even though he said he was pouring milk in his coffee, as you can see, it doesn't have any milk in it. Jessica was an aspiring actor, and she had a big musical theater audition that day. She left her house early in the morning to make it on time, but she had forgotten to take her sheet music with her, so she had to drive back. When she walked in, though, she saw her roommate lying on the floor unconscious. A nurse was standing beside her. She explained to Jessica that her roommate had been poisoned, but luckily, she'd had enough time to call an ambulance before she passed out. Jessica immediately realized something was wrong. She thanked the nurse for helping her friend and asked her if she could get her a glass of water or anything else. The nurse agreed, and Jessica hurried to the kitchen. There, she called the police saying, "There's a fake nurse in my house. She poisoned my roommate and tried to rob her." How did Jessica understand that? When she arrived at the house, there was no ambulance car in the driveway or in the street. And it's not like paramedics started using Uber. And you might have also noticed that the paramedic bag the nurse was holding was slightly open, and Jessica's roommate's jewelry was dangling out of it. Anna and Catherine are both influencers, but take a look at the latest photos they posted. Which of these ladies do you think is richer? Catherine is richer, of course. Just look at the number of likes on her photo. She has 27,907 likes. Anna, on the other hand, has 9,837, which means that Catherine has way more followers and must be earning millions. Annie managed to buy presents for everyone except her dad. She knew what everyone wanted, but her dad was kind of secretive and not the talking type. He was also not great with technology and never bought anything online, so there was no way she could sneak into her dad's computer and check the saved items in his shopping cart. But he always liked to make lists in his little notebook, and Annie was sure she might be able to find a wish list there. So she sneaked into her father's office one day to look for the notebook. It was nowhere to be found, but his study table had a locked drawer. She looked for the key around the room but couldn't find it anywhere. That's when 2 different sticky notes attached to 2 different books inside the bookcase caught her eye. The first note was attached to a psychology book and had P5487TH written on it. The second note was attached to a detective novel and said P21320TH. Annie immediately knew what the notes meant. Can you guess what she had to do? She had to open to page 548 in the first book and find the seventh word on this page. Then, she had to open page 213 in the second book and find the 20th word on that page. The words she found were under and desk. The girl immediately looked under the desk and found the drawer key taped to it. James was walking back to his apartment from work late at night. Suddenly, he was hit on the head and taken away. When he woke up, he found himself in a small room. He tried to escape, but the door was locked with a padlock. James tried to look for the key, but there was nothing in there but a window with strange-looking metal bars. Suddenly, he noticed something. It helped him to find the key. Do you see it too? One of the metal bars is different from the others. That one is the key. Giselle was camping in the forest during a night when the moon was full. After midnight, when she was making s'mores by a fire, she heard a loud howl. There was a werewolf in the forest, and it managed to find Giselle's tent because it smelled of food there. Thankfully, Giselle was not in her tent anymore when the werewolf arrived because she had already run away. Hiding behind a tree, she watched the creature eat her s'mores and tear up the tent. When the werewolf left before sunrise, the girl returned to her tent, but everything was ruined. There was no more food or water left. Her cell phone had run out of battery, so she couldn't call anyone. She started wandering through the forest, and soon she came upon a witch's house. When she walked in, she saw the witch and another lady. Giselle asked the witch if she could send her home. The witch agreed to help her on one condition. She would only send Giselle home if she guessed her sister's name. If not, she would turn her into a frog. Giselle knew the answer, but how? Did you notice that the witch's sister is wearing the same necklace around her neck as the werewolf? Well, Giselle did, and there's a name written on the necklace: Abigail. Zoe went to a security guard and reported that her gym bag was missing. She said she'd gone to the ladies' restroom after her dance cardio class. She was fixing her hair when someone came up from behind and pushed her. So she didn't see the person who had taken her bag. The security guard refused to check the footage from the security camera that was outside the restroom. Neither did he file a report. Why? Zoe said she was fixing her hair, so she must have been looking in the mirror. If she was telling the truth about someone sneaking up from behind, she would have definitely seen their reflection. So, Zoe probably lied so that she could sue them. Luckily, the security guard was super smart. Several women went missing in a small town. James Darcy and his police team had been searching for months, but they couldn't find the place where the women were kept. One day, when Sandra was jogging, she decided to use another route to get home. As she was passing an old cabin, she heard screams coming from its basement. She immediately called James Darcy to report it. James and his team arrived at the place and busted in. They found there 3 women. They all said that they had been locked in the basement for months, but James knew one of them was lying. The first woman said that her name was Tammy and that she had spent almost 8 months in the basement. The second woman claimed that her name was Hannah and that she had been there for almost 5 months. The third woman told him that her name was Allison and that she had stayed there for about 3 months. Can you tell who the liar is? Allison is telling the truth. Look at her. Her clothes are dirty. Her hair is greasy. Her roots have started to grow out. She definitely hasn't seen daylight for a long time. The same goes for Hannah. But look at Tammy. She looks clean. Her clothes look new. Her hair and makeup look fresh. So it must be her who is lying.
David spent his summer break at a science camp that was at a big space facility. When the summer break ended and school started, he told his friends from the science club all about his camp adventures. He said that at the facility, he had found a secret room. And in there was a time machine. He stepped into it and pressed some buttons to test if it really worked. And it did. He traveled through time and was able to talk to Nikola Tesla, Chuck Berry, and King Aragorn. But one of his friends immediately called him out for lying. How did he know that David made up this whole thing? Well, even if David actually managed to travel through time, he might have been able to talk to Nikola Tesla and Chuck Berry, but definitely not King Aragorn, because he is a fictional character.
Robert was a collector of rare coins. One day, the man called the police. "I got this coin only yesterday," he cried. "I've been looking for it for several years, and now it's gone. I'll bet it's one of my brothers. Frederick and Matthew live together with me. One of them collects ancient books, and the other is crazy about rare stamps. All our collections are kept in one large room." The police started to ask Robert for more details. It turned out that the key from the room where all the collections were was kept in a vase standing on the fireplace. The only person who visited the house was Robert's friend, Mark. The man liked the coin so much that he started offering big money for it. But Robert didn't agree to sell it. In the morning, he came to check on the coin, but it was missing. When the police arrived, they found out the room had been opened with the key. The police didn't find any fingerprints either. Do you know who stole the coin? It was Mark. He was the only person who had a reason for getting rid of the fingerprints. The brothers' fingerprints would be absolutely natural since they live there. There was a blackout in the city, but the bus driver still noticed a dog on the road and managed to stop in time. How did he do this? This accident happened during the day. It's nothing but holes tied to other holes. At the same time, it's as strong as steel, but not as stiff as a pole. What is it? It's a chain. Stephen's wife called the police and told them her husband had disappeared right from his garage. It happened several hours ago. The only thing she found there was a left-hand glove. When the police came, they saw it was a very peculiar glove. Such gloves were sold only in one store in their town. The store owner told them he had recently sold these gloves only to two people, Kevin, Stephen's neighbor, and Brian, Stephen's colleague at work. The police officers visited Kevin and asked the man to show them his gloves, but Kevin had just one. "I lost the other glove a week ago, and I don't have any other gloves." The man even pulled the glove on to demonstrate it to the officers. Then the police visited Brian. "I was wearing these gloves when I was repairing my car. They got so dirty that I threw them away." Who do you think knows something about Stephen's disappearance? Brian. Kevin put his glove on his left hand, and the glove Stephen's wife found was also for the left hand. A math teacher told his students about the Roman numerals. After that, he asked them to draw just one continuous line and turn IX into 6. The only condition was that the students were not to lift their pens from the paper until the line was finished. Jeffrey was the first to complete this task. How did he do this? He drew the letter S in front of IX and got 6. Both Sharon and Cynthia had a box of chocolates each. There were 14 chocolates in each box. Sharon ate several candies, and Cynthia ate the same number of chocolates that were left in Sharon's box. How many chocolates do they have together now? They still have 14 chocolates together. Kimberly inherited an old house from a rich aunt. When the young woman was exploring the cellar, she came across a massive wooden door. She opened it and saw a small room. In that room, there were 3 bags and a note on the floor. One of the bags has $1 million and the others are empty. You can only open one bag, so think carefully. Kimberly also noticed there was a message on each bag. On the first bag it said, "The cash is not here." The message on the second bag was, "The cash is not here." And the message on the third bag claimed, "The cash is in the second bag." If only one message is true, which bag has the money? The money can't be in the second or third bags. If it was so, then 2 messages would be true. It means the money is in the first bag. When you look for something, you'll always find it in the last place where you search. Why is that? It's always the last place where you look because, after this, there's no need to continue your search. A married couple went on a vacation and asked their neighbor to look after their house. When they returned, the wife found out that she had lost all her expensive jewelry, and it happened because of a power failure, no less. The woman had hidden her jewelry in a supposedly safe place. The house hadn't been burgled. The neighbor was an honest person. The jewelry had disappeared by accident. What happened? The wife hid her jewelry in the freezer in a bag with frozen food. After the power failure, the food got spoiled. The neighbor decided to help and threw away all the bad food from the fridge, along with the jewelry. You're locked in a room with 3 doors. It's safe to walk through any of them, but the doorknobs are the real problem. One of them puts out high voltage. The second is covered with poison. Just 1 drop on your skin and you won't survive. And the third doorknob is so hot it will make your hand burn. What doorknob should you opt for? The second one. You can take off any piece of clothing and open the door with its help. This way you won't touch the doorknob with your bare hand. A woman was hit by a car that sped away right after the accident. When the police arrived, they found several witnesses who described the car. The detective went to the house of one of the suspects. There, he saw a car that looked like the one in the description. But when he questioned its owner, the man claimed he had spent the whole day at home. The detective realized the suspect was lying right away. How? He touched the hood of the car. It was still warm from the engine. I was driving along the highway when one of my tires burst. I stopped to change it, but when I came back to the car, I saw it had a flat battery. I looked around and realized I was in the middle of a small town. I decided to wait for someone who could help me. Suddenly, I heard glass shatter. The night was very dark, so I switched on the headlights and saw a man climbing out of a house. He was carrying a large bag. I got scared and ran to the nearest police station. That was Mr. Darrison's story. The police detective who was listening to him asked, "And where did you hide everything you had stolen from that house?" How did he come to that conclusion? If Mr. Darrison's car battery was flat, how could he switch on the headlights? Dylan was trapped in a basement. The only thing he found inside was a note and a pen. Find the way to get 200 out of 188 with one line, and you'll be free. 5 minutes later, the door opened automatically, and Dylan was free. What did he do? He drew the line to divide 188 horizontally. That way, he got 2 ones and 4 zeros. A woman in a purple dress exclaimed, "I've never been to this store, Cinderella dresses. What kind of name is this?" But many people claim that a woman in purple took all the money from the cash desk while the shop assistant was away and ran out of the store, Detective Smith told the woman. The woman exclaimed, "I was just standing outside when suddenly a woman charged at me. Of course, I got scared and ran away. Then a police officer saw me running and stopped me. I agreed to return to the store, hoping it'd clear up the confusion. Several visitors said I could be the thief, but they weren't sure. Now I know you're the woman who stole the money," the detective said. How did he figure it out? The woman said return to the store, which means she had been there before and lied about the whole situation. Your company produces shoes. You have 2 factories in different cities. The workers of both factories have started to steal shoes. You can't use any additional security, but you have to stop the theft. How can you do it? One factory should start making only left shoes, and the other only right ones. Detective Aaron Bowler participated in a competition organized by a private consultant who came from Europe. Aaron wanted to become the Detective of the Year very much. It was the evening of the last day of the competition. The consultant explained what would happen next. You will all gather in a large room. Once you hear a shot outside, you'll need to rush in and find the criminal. The winner will be the person who will get to them first. You aren't allowed to use any equipment or tools. Several hours passed, and the people in the room started to get nervous. Suddenly, Aaron got up and went to another room. His colleagues asked him where he went, but the guy only answered, "I need to get ready for the chase," and he took a seat without switching on the light. Several minutes later, the detectives heard the shot. Aaron ran outside and was the first to catch the criminal. The consultant gave the man his prize and asked, "What helped you to be the first?" What did Aaron answer? His eyes didn't need to get used to the darkness outside because he had already spent some time in a dark place. Kevin and Jill moved in together several months ago. Can you guess how many months ago did they start living together by looking at this picture? There's a cleaning schedule hanging on the fridge. It has colored stickers with their names. They've been keeping this schedule for 5 months already. Therefore, they moved in together 5 months ago. New Year was coming, and Kevin invited Jill to spend the holidays in his parents' house. When they arrived, Kevin introduced Jill to his father and 2 brothers. Suddenly, Kevin's mother entered the house with her 2 best friends. They just came back home from the mall. Can you help Jill decide which of these 3 women is Kevin's mother? The third woman. The mole on her face is identical to Kevin's. Also, she's the only natural blonde among these women. Although the other 2 ladies also have blonde hair, their roots are dark. Kevin gave Jill a tour around the house. He offered her to play a game and guess on the second floor. She was supposed to guess which of the 3 bedrooms was Kevin's room where he lived with his parents. Have you guessed? The second room. Kevin's name was written on the wall. Although the graffiti was covered with paint, it could still be seen through. Besides, the interior of Kevin's current apartment also has some graffiti elements because he still pursues his hobby. Before the dinner, Kevin's brothers decided to prank Kevin and Jill and serve some snacks. There are 3 bowls with snacks, but only one of them contains edible snacks. Can you help Kevin and Jill choose the right bowl? The first bowl has spiders in it. The second bowl doesn't only contain chips, but also Lego parts. And there's a couple of dirty socks inside the third bowl. Therefore, the safest option is bowl number 2. They just need to be careful not to eat Lego parts. During the dinner, Kevin's mother has been asking Jill embarrassing questions. Jill told her 4 facts about herself. She graduated from college with honors. She doesn't have any tattoos. Jill and Kevin met each other online. Her favorite color is blue. But only 3 facts are true. Which one is false? Jill does have a tattoo. Take a look at her ankle. Next morning, the entire family gathered in the living room to have breakfast and unpack Christmas gifts. Can you guess what gift is from Kevin's mother to Jill? This blue box. It's the only gift wrapped in a different color than others. Kevin's mother probably learned that Jill would come over after having wrapped all the gifts for her family. Besides, Jill mentioned that she loved blue color. Kevin and Jill went hiking nearby Kevin's hometown. It started to snow, and they decided to spend a romantic night in the woods. They rented a lovely cabin. Next morning, Jill got out of the bed and saw that their backpacks had disappeared. Hey! Take a look at this picture. Can you guess who stole their stuff? Kevin's brothers decided to prank them. There are traces of 2 people on the snow, and one of the brothers dropped one of his purple gloves. Kevin's brothers jumped out of a barn where they hid. They decided to go for a walk and found a secret base in the mountains. It was well guarded, but Kevin's brother Mike found an open door. The door slammed shut just as Mike got inside. He saw 3 pots in front of him. There was a fire in the first one. The second one was full of acid, and there was a working electric saw in the third pot. Suddenly, a mysterious voice said, "You can get a key from one of the pots to break free, but you can't move the pots." How did Mike escape? He pulled icicles from the ceiling and threw them into the first pot. The icicles melted and put the fire out. The guys continued their journey. Soon after, they decided to stop and have a quick snack. Kevin's second brother, Andy, spotted a cave. As soon as he entered the cave, the way out disappeared. Now he must choose between 3 doors. There are poisonous scorpions behind the first door. There's a sleeping potion behind the second door, and he would have to drink. Finally, there's a hungry tiger behind the third door. What should Andy do to escape? He should grab the sleeping potion, pour it over his sandwich, and throw the food at the hungry tiger. When the tiger falls asleep, he'll be able to escape through the third door. Jill, Kevin, Andy, and Mike headed home when they noticed cougars moving toward them. The guys started running away and saw a tunnel. It was very dark and scary. They only have 12 minutes to cross it. It takes Mike 1 minute to cross the tunnel, Andy 2 minutes, Jill 4 minutes, and Kevin 5 minutes. The guys decided to split into 2 pairs, but they only have 1 flashlight, and there's no way they go in there in 4. How can they escape? Andy and Mike should walk through the tunnel with the flashlight in 2 minutes. Then Mike returns. They still have 9 minutes. Kevin and Jill run through the tunnel with the flashlight and give it to Andy. It will take another 5 minutes. Then Andy should run to Mike, and they will escape together with the remaining 2 minutes. Kevin and Jill returned home, but the adventure continued. Someone robbed their apartment yesterday. They called the police and questioned the neighbors. Dan said that he had spent all holidays at work and didn't come home at all. Vicky was wearing headphones because she was making music, so she couldn't hear any suspicious sounds. And Emily spent the holidays at her sister's place because construction workers had to finish renovations in her apartment. Who is lying? Emily. If they finished renovations, why is her apartment a giant mess? 2 years later, Kevin and Jill decided to get married. On the wedding day, Kevin noticed that Jill had forgotten her wedding necklace in his bag. He went to her dressing room to get the jewelry, but when he got there, he saw 3 identical Jills wearing identical dresses. Jill's father is a scientist. He decided to test Kevin's feelings before the wedding and made 2 clones of his daughter. Help Kevin find his real bride. It's the third one. She has a tattoo on her ankle, remember? And her clones don't, because tattoos don't impact genetics. Jill went downstairs to say hi to her bridesmaids, but when she saw them, Jill began to yell at her dad because he pranked her with his mad scientific tricks once again. One of the bridesmaids was a cyborg. Can you guess who it was? This elegant lady over here. What is she doing with her head? Kevin's mother was responsible for the wedding banquet, but when she entered the kitchen and saw the food served by the catering company, she got very upset. She called the company's office and started to yell at the manager, telling them to fix the disaster immediately. Can you guess what made her so upset? Look at the top of the cake. There are 2 green goblins instead of the bride and the groom. Kevin and Jill went to the Caribbean for their honeymoon. The hotel looked rather creepy, but they decided to stay there anyway. The hotel employee asked the newlyweds to choose a room from the remaining options. Can you help Kevin and Jill pick a good room? There were weird stains on linen in the first room. There's a spider web on the chandelier in the second room, and the third one looks pretty good. Jill decided to chill in the swimming pool. On her way to the dressing room, she noticed a TV in the hall and heard some breaking news. Someone spotted a zombie in town. The creature probably went downtown, and it could be anywhere. Zombies are not very good at swimming and move very slowly. Jill entered the dressing room and met 3 people. Can you tell who the zombie is? There's a bandage on this woman's leg. No one would go to a swimming pool if they had cuts or stretches unless they're a zombie. In the hotel room, Kevin found a secret door leading to a tunnel. He walked through the tunnel and found storage full of diamonds. Suddenly, prison bars appeared around Kevin out of nowhere, and a mysterious voice said, "You can take all the diamonds and leave safely if you manage to choose the right potion to escape." There were 3 options. The first potion will make Kevin invisible, the second potion will turn him into a bird, and the third potion will make him super tall. In 5 minutes, Kevin returned to Jill with a huge bag of diamonds. Which potion did he choose? The second one. He turned into a small bird that flew through the bars. The next morning, Jill woke up stuck on a small, flat, deserted island. It raised up 40 feet, and all around the base are jagged rocks and shark-infested waters. The island was covered in a dry, flammable vegetation. Suddenly, lightning struck the easternmost point of the island, and a huge fire started. The wind made the fire burn in a perfectly straight line across the island, with no gaps in the fire line. The fire was burning quite intensely, and she couldn't vault it or put it out. Jill cannot jump or traverse the rocks, and the wind won't change direction. How can she survive? Jill can start a fire herself, which will burn behind her. By the time the main fire gets there, she will be surrounded by an already burned area, and the main fire will not harm her. Also, since there was lightning, it probably rained soon after. The rain could put out the fire, and Jill would survive. Wow, what a crazy honeymoon. I think I'd just stay home.
Sam was walking in the mountains. He met a beautiful girl and spent the whole day with her. In the evening, he realized he didn't even know her name. He asked if he could take her out the next day. The girl agreed, but only if he guessed her name. Sam was upset, but luckily, the girl liked him too. She wrote something on a piece of paper. It was a hint. Can you figure out her name? Ignore the numbers and look at the letters. Together, they make up the name Regina. Sam rented a cabin on a beautiful deserted beach. He called Regina and invited her over. But she complained that she'd broken her leg. Sam offered his help and invited Regina to stay in his house until she recovered. He brought her to the cabin in his arms like a real gentleman. Regina was hungry and asked Sam to go buy some food. When Sam returned, he saw that someone had robbed his house. Regina said that she'd been sleeping and hadn't seen the robbers. Sam called the police and said, "I guess my new girlfriend is a thief." Why did he think so? Take a look at the cast. At first, it was on the right leg, but now it's on the left one. The police arrested Regina. They also detained 3 suspicious men. Jake said that he'd been walking with his dog nearby. Bill said that he'd been taking pictures for his blog. And Fred said he always surfed on that beach. Can you guess which of them is Regina's accomplice in the robbery? It's Bill. Take a look at his arm. He has a tattoo with Regina's name. The next evening, prison guards intercepted a letter from Regina to Bill, but it was encrypted, and the ink was going to become invisible in 10 seconds. Can you crack the code to uncover the plan? It says, "Escape tonight." Emily was walking in the forest and got lost. A few hours later, she found a creepy cabin and knocked on the door. A witch opened the door and invited the girl to come in. She was having a birthday party. The witch locked the door and told Emily, "I will let you go if you help me to divide these 3 chocolate bars among my 5 friends equally." How can Emily fulfill this task and escape? She should break each of the bars into 5 pieces. This way, everyone will get 3 pieces in total. Emily is jumping with a parachute. She has to land right now. There are 4 landing spots, a rainforest full of crocodiles and other animals, a deep well she shouldn't be able to climb out of, an erupting volcano, and a hot desert with no water. What should the girl choose? The last option. Look at the picture attentively. There's a city nearby. Emily met Sam online. They liked each other and agreed to meet in real life. Sam said he would be wearing a blue hat. When Emily arrived at the coffee shop, she noticed 3 guys wearing blue hats. They were standing facing away from her, so she couldn't see their faces. Can you help Emily figure out which one is Sam? Take a look at the mirror on the wall. The first guy has a wedding ring. The second one is wearing the coffee shop uniform. He must be a waiter, not a customer. And the third guy is Sam. He's holding a rose, ready for the date. Henry had had a crush on Emily since he was a first-year student. Finally, he plucked up his courage and asked the girl out. But she said no because she had a boyfriend, Sam. Henry was very upset. One day, Emily was walking home. Suddenly, 3 guys came up to her. They wanted to take her money, but the girl didn't have any. She didn't know what to do. She tried to call 911, but the guys snatched the phone from her hand. Luckily, Henry happened to pass by that place. He saw what was happening, ran up to the guys, and yelled, "Stay away from her! I've called the police!" One of the criminals shouted, "Let's go! Henry called the police!" And the guys ran away. Emily said, "Leave me alone, Henry. That was stupid." Why did she say so? The girl realized it had been a setup. Otherwise, how would the guys know Henry's name? Sam wanted to give Emily a perfect gift for New Year's, but he absolutely had no idea what to get her. He decided to check out what she saved in her shopping cart on her laptop. When Emily went to take a shower, Sam sneaked into her room and turned on the computer. It required a password, but Sam didn't know it. Luckily, there was a note lying next to the laptop saying 7337. Sam tried it, but it didn't work. What's the password? Sam should try 33333333777. Voila! Sam discovered that Emily was dreaming of having an electric piano. He went to a musical instrument store and bought the best piano he could get. On his way home, Sam realized that he'd forgotten his wallet at the cashier's desk. He returned, but the wallet wasn't there. The police arrived quickly and questioned 3 witnesses. The cashier said that she hadn't seen the wallet. Mike said that he'd come up to the cashier to ask about violins, but he didn't see any wallets. And Diana said that she'd been talking on the phone with her husband. Who stole the wallet? It was Mike. No one specified where Sam had left his wallet. Mike knew it because he had taken it. Mark, Sam's uncle, put a $100 bill inside his desk drawer and left for work. When he came back, the money was gone. He questioned 3 people. His wife said, "I put the bill under the book on the desk." The gardener said, "I put it inside the book between pages 1 and 2. The cleaner said, "I saw the bill sticking out of the book. I was afraid it'd get lost and moved it between page 2 and page 3. Mark asked Sam to help him figure out who the thief was. After a while, the guy cracked the case. Do you know who stole the money? It was the gardener. Pages 1 and 2 are the opposite sides of the same sheet. Emily got a new job as a hairdresser. In the middle of her shift, her manager saw some hair strands on the floor and asked, "That's weird. Whose hair is this?" Look at the 3 ladies. Can you guess who this blonde hair belongs to? This dark-haired lady has natural gray hair, which means that the hair can't be hers. Look at this lady's backpack. She's a delivery worker, not a client. It means the hair on the floor belongs to this woman with blue hair. Emily gave her a haircut and dyed her hair blue. According to Emily's work contract, she has to do 4 haircuts, 2 hair dyes, and 3 stylings during one day. Each haircut costs $45. Hair dye is $70, and styling costs $20. Can you calculate how much she's earned today? The girl has earned nothing. Look at the sign on the door. They're closed on Sunday. How can we make sure that today is Sunday? Look at the TV on the wall. It shows the time and the day of the week. Sam invited Emily to a fancy party. They arrived at a restaurant that was full of celebrities. There, they met Emily's favorite actress, Diana. After a while, Diana fainted in the middle of the dance floor. Someone had poisoned her. Emily wanted to help and decided to find the criminal. She questioned 3 suspects. Diana's friend Bill said, "I've known Diana for ages. I would never hurt her." Diana's best friend said,
I was fixing my makeup in the ladies' room when she got sick. And Diana's husband said that she had left him to get some drinks. He stayed at the table and didn't see anything. Emily knew for sure that one of these people was lying. Can you guess who it was? The best friend. There's a bottle of poison in her makeup bag. After dinner, Sam gave Emily a card with these weird images. Emily began to cry and said yes. Why? It's a rebus. It says, "Will you marry me?" Emily and Sam invited several friends to celebrate their engagement. Emily decided to prank the guests. She put a stick in a packet of hot sauce, and then she placed the whole thing inside of a cup. She served the drinks and turned her camera on to film the unlucky guest's funny reaction. Can you spot which cup is the dangerous one? This one. The straw in it is darker. Sam decided to pay back and prepared another prank. He cut off the bottom of 2 paper cups. Then he joined the 2 cups like this. After that, he served the drinks to the guests. But Emily immediately understood which cup was different. Have you guessed too? This one. It's a little taller than a regular cup. One of Emily and Sam's friends, Josh, made a good investment and earned $1 billion. He wanted to give the guys a generous wedding gift. But first, he decided to ask them to solve a tricky riddle. If they managed to crack it, they'd get their dream house. Look at these 4 groups of pencils. The task is to rearrange them in groups of 1, 2, 3, and 4 with one single move. Can you help Emily and Sam? They should take the second pencil from these 4 and put it in here. Now they have groups of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Easy!
Becky and Emma meet at a party. They're in line to the bathroom, but one of them is not human. Can you tell which one? You need to look at the girl's reflection in the mirror. Becky, on the left, has a weird shadow, but is still human. Emma's shadow, on the other hand, reveals she's actually a vampire. Vampires don't have shadows, remember? And do vampires even need to use the bathroom? Well, I can't answer that. Dan was walking his dog when a flower pot hit him on the head. He felt very dizzy and suspected that one of his neighbors had thrown the pot on purpose. He knocked on his neighbor's door to find out if they had done it, but the neighbors said they had just returned home less than 3 minutes ago. However, Dan saw something that proved they were lying. What was it? Well, the neighbors had something boiling on the stove when Dan arrived. Such a large pan doesn't boil in less than 3 minutes. They were definitely lying. 3 people were walking down the street when they saw a car parked in a prohibited place with the alarm going off. A police officer stopped the 3 of them and asked whose car it was. They all claimed the car was theirs. Which one was lying? The man in the suit is wearing a badge, and the same badge is hanging from the car's rearview mirror. There's also a university sticker on the car, which matches the one on the girl's notebook. They must be family and own the car. The delivery man is the one who's lying. One evening, at around 8 p.m., Henry decided to have dinner. When he walked into a restaurant, a customer and a waiter were arguing. The customer insisted that he had ordered soup, while the waiter said the customer had only ordered tea. Henry noticed something that immediately revealed who was lying. Can you figure it out? The customer is lying. Behind him, there's a huge sign that says the restaurant only serves soup from 1 to 4 p.m. So, no soup for you. Mandy was at the zoo when she had her handbag snatched. She didn't see the thief's face, but she noticed that he was wearing a zookeeper's uniform. Now, take a look at these two zookeepers feeding the animals. Which one is the thief? The thief is the one on the right. He's trying to feed a rhinoceros a piece of meat. This clearly shows he knows nothing about animals, since rhinos are vegetarians, thank goodness. It's Cindy's first day at her new job. Take a look at the picture. Can you tell who Cindy's boss is? I know he looks pretty young, but it's the guy on the left. His blazer is on the boss's chair. It was a lovely spring morning, so Margaret took her daughters to the park. She left her bag right beside her next to a stranger. After a few minutes, she noticed the bag was stolen. Can you figure out who the thief was? The person came out from the bush behind the bench where Margaret was seated. He was very quick, but you can still see the bush moving. Bernard is the owner of a meat shop downtown. He sells really expensive meat. That day's special was a premium bacon worth over $500. During the rush, he was so busy attending to customers that he didn't notice someone had stolen the bacon. Who's the thief here? It's the guy in the suit. The dog is sniffing his bag as if there's some bacon inside it. He's definitely the one. Tim always takes his lunch to work, but that day someone stole his burrito. He interviewed his colleagues to find the culprit. Helen, his boss, said she ordered sushi that day. Joe, who's highly allergic to gluten, said he brought his own food. And Beth, another coworker, got a salad from the cafeteria. Take a look at the picture and find the culprit. It was Joe. His hands are severely swollen because he's allergic to the gluten in the burrito. Laurel, a high-profile detective, was leaving the supermarket when the police came rushing in asking for her help. A woman had robbed a jewelry store and was seen walking into that building. Can you tell which one of them is the thief? Take a look at the second cashier's long-sleeve shirt. It has a very shiny diamond necklace peeking out of it. She's most certainly the criminal. The airport police are having a lot of trouble these days. Many convicts escape prison and are trying to leave the country as fast as they can. Take a look at this image. Can you figure out who the fugitive is? It's the lady on the right. Although the woman in the wanted poster is blonde, she must have dyed her hair brown to try to get through security. But her lips and freckles are exactly the same as in the picture. Mabel's boyfriend decided to test her on how well she knew him. Each time she answered correctly, she would get 2 points. Each wrong answer would make her lose 2 points. He asked her 5 questions in total, and Mabel got 4 of them right. How many points did she score? Six points. 4 correct answers gave her 8 points, minus 2 points for 1 wrong answer. Isn't that a great relationship? You're dating a mathematics nerd. On your first date, he takes you to an ancient site and shows you the inscriptions marked on a wall. The inscriptions consist of a sequence of numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. But the other numbers are blurred. He asks you if you can figure out which numbers come next. Can you? The numbers that follow would be 13, 17, 19. This is a sequence of prime numbers, which can only be divided by 1 and themselves. When you arrive at the door of an old temple, the guardian of the temple gives you a vase with this equation written on it. It's your test to figure out the result. What's the answer, genius? The answer is XX, or 20 in our language. IX in Roman numerals stands for 9, while XI is 11. So the total sum is 20. Phil was the guardian of an ancient pyramid. Phil? Okay. He wrote a code down so his successors could find a hidden chamber. But he tore the note to make it more difficult for his enemies to find it. He tore it into 3 pieces, then took one of the pieces and tore it into 3 again. In the end, the note was divided into 9 pieces. How many times did he tear the paper? Four times. After the first rip, there were 3 pieces, then 5, then 7, then 9. Liam asked his brother to solve a riddle. If he got it right, he'd get $50. He told his brother that if he tripled the number he was thinking of, then added 6, he'd get 21. What was the number Liam was thinking of? The number was 5. 5 times 3 equals 15, plus 6 equals 21. Hey, time for blackjack, huh?